Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Star Wars channel. I'm so glad you've drifted into this quiet corner of the galaxy tonight. Maybe your day felt long. Maybe your thoughts have been moving at light speed. Or maybe you're simply searching for a soft place to rest among the stars. Wherever you've come from, whatever you carry, you can set it down now. Because this is your time. A moment just for you, wrapped in stillness, held in the gentle hum of the Force, surrounded by the distant shimmer of 1,000 peaceful worlds. There's nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to chase, and nowhere you need to be. The galaxy is vast, but your breath is enough to guide you through it. So let each inhale feel like drawing in the glow of a warm star. And let each exhale be a soft release, like a ship sliding into hyperspace. Slow, quiet, effortless. Tonight, we're not just falling asleep. We're stepping into one of the most mysterious and comforting corners of Star Wars lore. A realm where life and light intertwine. Where legends linger long after their final breath. Where the spirits of the wise continue to guide the living. Tonight, we journey into the shimmering mystery of the Force ghosts, the luminous beings who learn that death is not an ending, but a gentle passage into something brighter. From Qui-Gon's first whisper in the desert, to Obi-Wan's calm presence beside Luke, to Yoda's laughter echoing from beyond, to Anakin's redemption in a glow of peaceful blue. These are the stories of those who learn to transcend the physical world and become part of the Force itself. So settle deeper into your bed. Feel the weight of your body sink into softness, and imagine the stars slowly opening above you, like a veil being drawn back by a quiet cosmic hand. Because the spirits of the Force are waiting to share their tales, softly, gently, one by one, as we drift together into dreams. Now close your eyes, let the night embrace you, and may the Force be with you, always. 1. The Luminous Pathway. In the earliest days of the Jedi, long before the Republic had risen, or the first temples touched the sky, there were quiet whispers among the sages, rumors of a luminous pathway that stretched beyond death. They believed the Force was not merely an energy that bound the galaxy, but a gentle current that could carry a soul into eternal light. These ancient mystics felt that, in the moment of passing, a Jedi did not disappear. They simply stepped into a brighter realm. Their bodies faded, but their essence joined a cosmic tide of warmth and wisdom. And in the hush of that belief, the first hints of Force ghosts were born, soft as starlight, patient as dawn. 2. Whispers in the Cosmic Force. Across the galaxy, the Force moved in two grand currents: the living Force, vibrant and immediate, and the Cosmic Force, deep and eternal. Jedi who opened their hearts could hear gentle murmurs from that greater ocean, as if voices from distant stars were calling through the silence. The Cosmic Force held the memories of every life, every choice, every spark of hope. And for rare beings who surrendered themselves completely to compassion and clarity, it offered something more, a chance to retain consciousness even after their bodies were gone. These quiet whispers would later guide Qui-Gon Jinn, drawing him toward an ancient truth hidden just beyond the boundary of life. 3. The first to return. Long before the Clone Wars, before Coruscant gleamed with countless towers, stories circulated through the Jedi Order about figures who had appeared after death, shimmering silhouettes glimpsed beside ancient shrines, voices murmuring wisdom during meditations, hints of gentle light where no source could be found. Most dismiss these tales as myth, but a few Jedi Masters believed they pointed to something deeper, the first spirits who had learned to remain. These early apparitions were brief, fragile as candlelight in the wind, yet profoundly comforting. Their presence suggested that the Force was not merely a cycle of rise and fall, but a compassionate guide that never let its children drift alone. And from these faint early visitations, a greater understanding began to awaken. 4. A secret taught in silence. Within the Jedi Order, knowledge was vast, but not all wisdom was openly shared. Among the temples and archives, quietly protected from curious learners, lay the most delicate secret of all, the understanding that consciousness could persist beyond death. This teaching wasn't withheld out of fear, but out of deep reverence. The Masters believed that only those who had purified their intentions, who acted from calmness, compassion, and humility, could safely approach this mystery. It was not a technique, not a power, but a profound surrender to the Force itself. And so, for centuries, only the wisest Jedi whispered these truths in private rooms, speaking softly about eternity, as though afraid the galaxy itself might listen too closely. And in that silence, the knowledge waited. 5. Qui-Gon's discovery. Qui-Gon Jinn was unlike most Jedi. Gentle, intuitive, and guided by the living Force, he sought answers not by command, but by listening to the quiet places others overlooked. In his meditations, he felt currents pulling him towards something luminous, something long forgotten. Through ancient texts and communion with mysterious Force priestesses, he uncovered the path that allowed a soul to retain identity after death. Qui-Gon's discovery wasn't an act of ambition. It was an act of pure openness, born from compassion for all living things. When he fell on Naboo, his physical form faded, but his spirit remained vibrant, still tethered by love to those he wished to guide. And with that first whisper from beyond, a new era of luminous beings began. 6. The voice in the desert. After Qui-Gon's passing, his spirit drifted into the vastness of the cosmic force. Yet he reached out to one Jedi in particular, Yoda. In the stillness of a quiet desert, where wind carried grains of sand like ancient secrets, the old master first heard a familiar voice. It wasn't an echo or memory, but a presence, warm and unmistakably real. Gentle words flowed into Yoda's thoughts, guiding him toward teachings he had never encountered in 9 centuries of life. This moment changed everything. Proof that a Jedi could exist beyond death, not as a fading echo, but as a living consciousness woven from light. And through that first voice in the desert winds, the path toward immortality became clearer than ever before. 7. Lessons from Mortis. On the ethereal world of Mortis, a realm outside space and time, the Force revealed itself in shapes the galaxy could barely comprehend. Here, the daughter embodied light, the son represented shadow, and their father maintained balance between the two. When Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka journeyed through this shifting dream realm, they witnessed how life and death intertwined like threads of the same tapestry. Mortis hinted that consciousness was not tied to a single form, but flowed endlessly through the Force. For Jedi who truly understood this, the boundary of death became softer, almost permeable. These lessons lingered long after the trio departed, whispering that the essence of a being could live on. And from that echo, the path of the spirits grew clearer. 8. Yoda's hidden journey. Moved by Qui-Gon's voice and guided by visions of ancient promise, Yoda embarked on a secret pilgrimage known to no one within the Jedi Order. His travels took him through forgotten worlds, across luminous nebulae, and finally into the presence of the Force priestesses, beings whose shapes shifted like ripples of air. They tested him with illusions of fear, sorrow, and pride, peeling back the last shadows of attachment. Through this quiet purification, Yoda learned that immortality was not a reward, but a surrender, the letting go of self until only compassion remained. His training culminated in a sacred revelation that even after death, he would continue to guide generations yet unborn. And with each peaceful step, the veil between life and light thinned. 9. Trials of the Pure Spirit. To become a luminous being, a Jedi must pass trials unlike any faced in life. These were not challenges of lightsabers or battle, but deeper, quieter tests of the heart. A Jedi had to release all fear, let go of ego, and embrace a love so expansive it dissolved every boundary. Only then could their spirit harmonize with the cosmic force, strong enough to retain identity without a physical form. These trials revealed that immortality was not about power. It was about purity, kindness, and absolute serenity. For those who succeeded, the transition after death became gentle, like stepping from shadow into sunrise. And in the stillness after each trial, a new possibility shimmered into being. 10. The Cavern of Spirits. On a quiet world at the far edge of the galaxy rests a cavern known only in whispers, a place where the veil between realms grows thin. Here, the Force vibrates like a low, eternal hum, and the air shimmers with pale blue motes of light. Jedi who enter feel as though they're stepping into a dream, surrounded by echoes of those who came before. Some say they hear soft footsteps behind them, though no one follows. Others sense a presence filled with warmth, like an old friend watching from just beyond the shadows. These encounters are never frightening. They are peaceful, grounding, like touching eternity for a passing breath. And in those shimmering depths, the promise of the afterlife begins to glow. 11. Becoming one with the Force. When a Jedi reaches the moment of their passing, it is not pain or fear that defines it, but surrender, a soft release into something larger than themselves. Their body fades, but their essence lifts gently, dissolving into the luminous current that flows through all living things. This transition is serene, like a candle blowing out, only to become part of the dawn. Jedi Masters describe it as a return to a home they had forgotten, where every heartbeat joins a cosmic harmony. To the living, their physical form quietly disappears, leaving behind robes or a whisper of warmth in the air. And in that tranquil moment, a Jedi begins the journey toward becoming a spirit of light. 12. The transition of light. After death, a rare few feel themselves drift through a realm made not of stars, but of pure feeling. A landscape of memory, emotion, and truth. Here, light itself seems to carry voices, guiding the newly departed toward understanding. If their heart is clear and their compassion unbroken, they begin to gather shape once more, forming a gentle outline of who they were in life. This is the moment a Force ghost is truly born, when love, humility, and harmony anchor their spirit enough to remain. From this luminous threshold, they may choose to watch over the living, offering comfort when darkness falls. And from the calm of that transition, their first whisper of guidance begins. 13. Maintaining identity. For most beings, the moment of death brings a peaceful dissolution, a final merging with the great ocean of the cosmic force. But for a select few, identity lingers like a soft glow that refuses to fade. This persistence isn't fueled by attachment or fear, but by clarity, a deep understanding of the Force that allows their consciousness to remain distinct. These luminous minds stay whole because they have released everything that weighs the spirit down. Ego, ambition, sorrow. All fall away like leaves in a gentle breeze. What remains is pure awareness, soft and serene, shaped by compassion. And from that clarity, a Jedi may choose to return, not as flesh, but as light guiding the living. 14. The gift of compassion. The ability to endure beyond death does not arise from power or mastery, but from kindness. True immortality is a gift offered only to those who have opened their hearts so fully that selflessness becomes their very nature. Compassion acts as an anchor, keeping the spirit harmonious even after the body fades. It binds them not to the physical world, but to those they cherish, giving them reason to return when comfort is needed most. This is why luminous beings feel warm, never cold, gentle, never haunting. Their presence carries the feeling of someone who loves without boundary, who returns not to command the living, but to ease their burdens. And through this boundless compassion, the path of the Force Ghost becomes possible. 15. Anchors of memory. When a Force Ghost chooses to appear, it is seldom random. They are drawn to places woven with meaning. The forests where they trained, the temples where they taught, the sons and daughters they watched grow. These memories create gentle threads between realms, guiding the spirit like lanterns in the night. To those sensitive to the Force, these appearances feel familiar, like meeting an old friend on a quiet path. A ghost may linger near someone they once guided, offering presence rather than instruction, warmth rather than warning. Their visits are never intrusive. They are invitations to remember what truly matters. And from each memory they touch, another soft doorway between worlds begins to open. 16. Timeless perception. In the luminous realm of the cosmic force, time no longer moves in straight lines. Instead, it drifts like soft currents in a starlit sea, gentle and fluid. A moment can stretch into eternity, while centuries may pass in the blink of a serene thought. Force ghosts don't watch events unfold as the living do. They sense them, like ripples touching the surface of a quiet pond. Past, present, and future blend into a single tapestry of light, revealing patterns invisible to mortal eyes. This timeless perception allows spirits to guide without urgency, without fear. Because to them, every destiny unfolds exactly when it should, and within that eternal calm, they wait patiently for the living to find their way. 17. The first manifestation. Qui-Gon. Jin's first true manifestation marked a turning point in the history of the Jedi. Though he initially could not form a visible shape, his voice carried across the veil with unmistakable warmth. Yoda felt it during meditation, a soft whisper that seemed to rise from the stillness itself. To hear a departed friend speak again, with clarity, with purpose, was a revelation that shook the foundations of everything the Jedi believed about death. This moment was not dramatic or loud. It was gentle, almost shy, like a breeze slipping through ancient temple halls. Yet its impact resounded through generations, proving that the bond between teacher and student could transcend even the end of life. And from that first whisper, an entire tradition began to blossom. 18. The Misty Oasis. Qui-Gon completed his transformation in a quiet place far from the turmoil of the galaxy. a serene oasis bathed in soft mists and glowing waters. Here, the boundary between physical and spiritual realms thinned until they were almost indistinguishable. The Force priestesses guided him through this tranquil sanctuary, teaching him how to shape his luminous form and communicate with the living. The air shimmered with warmth, and reflections danced upon the water like drifting memories. In this calm refuge, Qui-Gon learned to become a gentle presence unbound by time or distance. And from that peaceful oasis, his spirit carried newfound wisdom back into the galaxy, ready to guide those who still walked in the light. 19. Yoda's first vision. When Yoda first saw Qui-Gon's spirit, it came not as a fully formed figure, but as a gentle shimmer in the air, a glow that pulsed softly, like the heartbeat of the Force itself. The ancient master had lived nearly 9 centuries, yet nothing had prepared him for this moment. As the light took shape, Yoda felt no fear, only recognition, and the profound comfort of a friend's return. The vision spoke not in commands, but in reassurance, reminding Yoda that death was not an end, but a passage into deeper truth. This encounter filled him with a quiet hope he had not felt in years. And from that soft revelation, Yoda knew a new chapter of wisdom had begun. 20. The meaning of blue light Force ghosts appear bathed in a gentle blue aura, a color often associated with serenity, clarity, and the luminous side of the Force. This hue isn't chosen. It's the natural expression of a spirit fully at peace. Blue represents harmony, the calm of night, and the soothing glow of distant stars. It is the visual echo of a being who has let go of ambition, fear, and sorrow, leaving only compassion behind. When the living see this glow, they feel its warmth instinctively, sensing that the presence is one of guidance, not intrusion. This radiant blue shimmer reminds them that even in darkness, there are lights that never fade. And within that glow, a promise of comfort shines across the galaxy. 21. Obi-Wan's gentle passing. When Obi-Wan Kenobi met his fate aboard the Death Star, he did so with a calmness rare even among Jedi Masters. In those final seconds, he closed his eyes, lifted his saber, and surrendered himself fully to the Force. His body vanished instantly, leaving nothing but folded robes upon the cold metal floor. But the moment he disappeared, Obi-Wan felt himself expand into a warm, infinite stillness, a realm where fear could not follow. From this luminous place, he sensed Luke's terror and reached out quietly, reassuring him with presence rather than form. In giving up his physical body, Obi-Wan ensured he could guide the young Skywalker long after his final breath. And in that serene transition, a guardian of the Force was reborn in light. 22. A guide in the dunes. After Obi-Wan's transformation into a Force ghost, he remained close to Luke, watching over him with the same quiet devotion he had shown since the day the boy was born. On Tatooine, where the twin suns cast long shadows across endless dunes, Obi-Wan's spirit drifted like a warm breeze. Luke often felt a comforting sense of presence during his early wanderings, a subtle reassurance that he was never truly alone. Though the young Skywalker could not yet hear him clearly, Obi-Wan whispered guidance into the stillness, nudging him toward courage, patience, and destiny. And from the hush of those desert winds, Obi-Wan prepared to reveal himself when the boy needed him most. 23. The voice of reassurance. When Luke fled the Millennium Falcon after Obi-Wan's death, his heart felt heavy with fear and grief. But in the silent corridors of space, when doubt crept in, he heard a familiar voice, calm, warm, and impossibly gentle. Use the Force, Luke. it whispered, not as a command, but as a loving reminder. This was the first time Obi-Wan's spirit reached Luke clearly, speaking across the veil with perfect serenity. In that moment, Luke realized that Obi-Wan had not abandoned him. He had become something greater. The presence felt like a hand on his shoulder, steadying him, helping him trust the invisible current that had always been with him. And through that soft reassurance, Luke took his first true step as a Jedi. 24. Lessons from beyond Obi-Wan's role as a Force ghost was not to dictate Luke's path, but to guide him with gentle wisdom. In moments of meditation, Luke felt Obi-Wan's presence like soft light at the edge of consciousness, offering clarity without ever overshadowing the young Jedi's choices. He taught that the Force was not about domination, but harmony, a conversation between breath and destiny. These lessons, spoken from beyond death, carried a quiet weight that shaped Luke's understanding of what it meant to be a Jedi. They were reminders of patience, humility, and trust in the unseen. And with each whispered teaching, the bond between master and student deepened across the luminous divide. 25. A presence in the Falcon. During the frantic escape from the Death Star, when fear tightened Luke's chest and the world seemed to blur around him, Obi-Wan's spirit settled gently within the Millennium Falcon. Though unseen, he was a steadying calm amid chaos. His presence carried the quiet assurance of a father watching over a child taking his first steps into a greater world. Luke felt it instinctively, a soft clarity rising within him, a reminder that he was capable of more than he knew. As the Falcon soared through hyperspace, Obi-Wan's essence drifted like a faint blue shimmer, guiding Luke's thoughts toward trust, balance, and focus. And in that gentle calm, Luke began to understand that the Force never truly leaves those who seek it. 26. The Jedi's last gift, Obi-Wan's guidance from beyond death, was not simply a continuation of his teachings. It was his final blessing to the galaxy. By surrendering his physical form, he ensured that the hope he represented would live on through Luke. His voice, soft as moonlight on quiet water, provided encouragement when despair grew heavy. He reminded Luke that courage was not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward despite it. This gift was not dramatic or grand. It was tender, the kind of strength that wraps around the heart like a warm cloak. And through that enduring gift, Obi-Wan shaped the destiny of the last Jedi long after his earthly journey ended. 27. Patience beyond mortality. Even as a spirit, Obi-Wan understood that some truths could only be revealed when the heart was ready to hear them. He waited with infinite patience, watching Luke grow, stumble, and rise again. The knowledge of Anakin's past weighed heavily on him, yet Obi-Wan held it back, not out of secrecy, but out of compassion. Luke needed time to build his foundation, to trust himself before facing the storms that awaited him. From the luminous realm, Obi-Wan's presence remained gentle and respectful, never pushing too far, never overwhelming. He was a steady light on Luke's horizon, guiding from a distance until the moment of truth finally arrived. And in that patient glow, the future slowly unfolded. 28. The threshold of Dagobah. When Luke journeyed to the swamp-covered world of Dagobah, he stepped onto one of the most potent nexuses of the Force in the entire galaxy. Hidden beneath vines, mists, and ancient trees, Dagobah was a place where the boundary between the physical and spiritual grew wonderfully thin. Obi-Wan's voice reached Luke here more clearly than ever before, carried by the dense, living energy that pulsed through every droplet of water and every drifting breath of fog. Luke often sensed a spectator just outside his vision, a warmth behind his shoulder, a whisper beneath the hum of insects. Dagobah amplified the luminous realm, making it easier for spirits to guide the living. And in that mystical stillness, Luke's connection to the unseen deepened. 29. The glow in the tree cave. Near Yoda's hut rested an ancient cave, a place where the Force gathered in heavy, shifting layers. Luke entered it, seeking clarity, yet found visions shaped from his own fears. Some say that within the deeper shadows of that cave, faint glimmers of forgotten spirits could be felt, not fully formed, but like echoes woven into the air. The cave acted as a mirror of the soul, revealing not the truth of the world, but the truth of oneself. At times, Luke sensed the presence of Obi-Wan nearby, watching without interfering, offering only the comfort of knowing he was not facing his inner darkness alone. And from that quiet glow in the cave, Luke learned that fear must be understood, not denied. 30. The last conversation. Before Luke confronted Vader and the Emperor, Obi-Wan appeared to him once more. This time, not as a distant voice, but as a fully luminous being. Bathed in soft blue light, he spoke with the gentle sadness of someone who had endured many burdens, yet still believed in hope. He explained truths Luke had long suspected, truths that would shape the young Jedi's destiny, the legacy of his father, the weight of compassion, and the importance of trusting his own heart. Obi-Wan's final message was not about war or duty, but about love, the love that might save Anakin's soul. And as Obi-Wan faded back into the light, Luke stepped bravely toward his fate. 31. Yoda's peaceful vanishing. When Yoda felt his time approaching on the quiet world of Dagobah, he embraced the moment with the serenity of a being who had walked the galaxy for 900 years. He did not fear the end. He welcomed it like an old friend returning after a long journey. As he rested upon his small bed, the swamp outside hummed with life, acknowledging the transition of a great master. With a final breath, gentle and unburdened, Yoda closed his eyes, and his body faded into the air like mist touched by morning light. No pain, no sorrow, only peace. Luke watched in awe as the master simply became one with the Force, and in that soft vanishing, Yoda stepped into a new kind of existence. 32. The green flame of wisdom. Even in his luminous form, Yoda retained the warm emerald glow that symbolized his deep connection to life. This green flame wasn't fire at all, but an energy shaped by centuries of compassion, humor, and truth. When his spirit appeared, the air around him seemed to warm, as though touched by gentle sunlight breaking through ancient treetops. His luminous presence radiated a wisdom that felt older than stars, yet still playful in its lightness. Every flicker of his form carried the calm assurance that growth never ends, not even in death. His voice, soft and slightly amused, reminded the living that learning is a journey without boundaries. And from that glowing flame of wisdom, Yoda continued to guide those willing to listen. 33. A new light on Och. 2 years after his passing, Yoda's spirit appeared to Luke on the island of Och II, a world of windswept cliffs, ancient stones, and oceans that sang with the tides. Luke, burdened by regret, felt distant from his purpose, but Yoda arrived like a breeze carrying secrets from another lifetime. His spectral light flickered softly against the rain, illuminating the night with a gentle hue. He reminded Luke that failure is not the end of a story, but the beginning of wisdom. Even as a ghost, Yoda could summon storms or calm skies, not through power, but through harmony with the Force. And in that quiet visitation, Luke remembered who he truly was. 34. Teaching without form. As a luminous being, Yoda discovered that teaching no longer required a physical presence. His lessons were carried not by gestures or movement, but by intention. A gentle ripple in the Force that reached the listener's heart more directly than words ever could. When he appeared to Luke, his glow softened the world around them, turning even the harshest cliffs of Achtu into a quiet sanctuary. Through calm humor and patient wisdom, he reminded Luke that the essence of a Jedi is not found in strength or perfection, but in humility. Without the limitations of form, Yoda became an even clearer guide, offering truth with the softness of drifting mist. And in that formless teaching, he showed that wisdom flows freely when the heart is open. 35. The spark on the island. During their meeting on Achto, Yoda summoned a spark of playful mischief, igniting the sacred tree with a burst of luminous energy. The flames danced in hues of soft gold and blue, lighting the night without threatening the ancient knowledge held within. Luke watched in shock, but Yoda laughed, a warm, familiar sound that carried centuries of perspective. His message was simple. The Jedi's legacy was not contained in old texts or rigid traditions, but in the living connection between master and student, between hope and the Force. The spark was a reminder that renewal sometimes begins with letting go. And through that gentle fire, Luke's spirit began to awaken from its long slumber. 36. The laugh in the clouds. Even as a spirit, Yoda's laughter drifted through the air like a soft breeze rolling across the ocean. It carried joy untouched by worry, a sound that reminded Luke of nights in the swamps of Dagobah when the old master's humor broke through the weight of training. On Achto, as clouds gathered and winds swept the cliffs, his ghostly chuckle felt almost like thunder softened to a whisper. That laugh was a gift, a reminder that even the wisest beings embrace lightness, even in the face of sorrow. It encouraged Luke to release the gravity he held within himself and to see the galaxy not with despair, but with gentle clarity. And in that peaceful laughter, the Force felt alive once more. 37. The Ancient Master's Realm. Between moments of appearing to the living, Yoda's spirit resides in a realm woven entirely from the cosmic force, a place without edges, without sky, where light drifts like soft currents of memory. In this luminous expanse, he reflects on centuries of lessons, allowing wisdom to settle like dew on ancient leaves. Time does not flow here, it simply rests. Yoda wanders through shimmering echoes of worlds he once walked, forests, temples, and starlit plains, each formed from pure feeling rather than matter. The realm welcomes him like a home that had always been waiting. And in this quiet sanctuary, he gathers the calm needed to guide the living with gentle clarity. 38. Echoes in the Jedi texts. Even after death, Yoda's presence lingers protectively around the ancient Jedi texts, not to guard them out of secrecy, but out of deep respect for the stories they hold. When a seeker approaches with an open heart, the pages seem to glow a little brighter, as if stirred by a breath of luminous energy. Some have felt a faint warmth while reading, a comforting sensation, like a small hand resting on their shoulder. These echoes are not full manifestations, but soft reminders that wisdom is a living thing, carried through time by those who cherish it. Yoda whispers through the Force, not to give answers, but to encourage understanding. And through those sacred pages, His guidance flows like quiet starlight. 39. The Eternal Teacher. For Yoda, becoming a Force ghost did not mark the end of teaching. It marked the beginning of a new chapter. Freed from the limits of physical form, he could now guide future generations from a place of pure compassion. His words come as gentle nudges in meditation, as soft intuition during moments of doubt, as sudden clarity when choices feel heavy. He watches with patience, never demanding, only offering possibilities. Even across galaxies, his luminous presence can reach those who call upon the Force with sincerity. In every whisper of calm, every flicker of insight, Yoda continues his ancient role, the shepherd of Jedi wisdom. And from that peaceful eternity, he prepares to guide the next soul ready to listen. 40. The Gentle Flame of Hope. Yoda's luminous presence carries a quality few beings in the galaxy can fully describe, a gentle flame of hope that warms the spirit without ever burning. When he appears, the air itself seems to sigh in relief, as if acknowledging the arrival of an ancient comfort. His glow softens the world around him, quieting storms both real and emotional. That flame is not a symbol of victory or triumph, but of resilience. The quiet belief that no matter how dark the night becomes, there is always a spark waiting to rise again. For Luke, for Rey, and for all who reach toward the light, this glow offers reassurance that the Force remains a trusted friend. And in that tender radiance, hope becomes a steady companion. 41. Anakin's redemption in light. When Anakin Skywalker returned as a Force ghost, it marked the completion of a journey defined by storms, shadows, and painful choices. Yet in his luminous form, none of the darkness remained. His spirit appeared as the man he had once been, warm, gentle, and filled with clarity. Redemption had not erased his past. It had transformed it, allowing him to stand in peaceful balance with the Force. The blue glow wrapped around him like forgiveness given shape, a reminder that even the most turbulent souls can find serenity. To Luke, seeing his father restored brought a quiet healing, soothing wounds carved over years of fear and confusion. And from that restored light, Anakin watched over the future with renewed calm. 42. A son's last memory. Luke Skywalker's final memory of his father in life was a moment of fragile tenderness, a man freed from hatred, looking at his son with unguarded love. When Anakin's spirit later appeared on Endor, that memory softened into something even more serene. Luke saw not the broken figure in armor, but the luminous presence of the man Anakin had always hoped to be. This vision settled into Luke's heart like gentle moonlight, offering a peace he had never been certain he would find. The galaxy celebrated the fall of the Empire, but Luke quietly celebrated something much more personal, the return of a father he thought he had lost forever. And in that final glowing moment, their bond shone brighter than any star. 43. Rejoining the light. When Anakin released his final breath on the second Death Star, something remarkable happened. The storm inside him, carried for decades, finally went still. His spirit rose not in anger or regret, but in a warm tide of clarity that felt like coming home after a lifetime of wandering. The Force, which had once echoed with his conflict, now welcomed him gently, as though it had been waiting with open arms. In that luminous moment, Anakin shed the weight of Vader's armor and stood once more in the truth of who he was meant to be. His soul blended with the cosmic force, not as a villain redeemed, but as a man finally at peace. And from that serene reunion, his light began to shine anew. 44. the end of a lifelong storm. Anakin's journey had been marked by turbulence, love, loss, fear, and the crushing burden of destiny. Yet, in his luminous form, all that turmoil faded into a quiet calm, like waves settling after a long and weary night. For the first time since childhood, he felt the pure simplicity of being whole. The Force embraced him, not with judgment, but with understanding, allowing him to reflect on the life he had lived and the choices he had made. In this gentle clarity, he recognized that redemption is not a single moment, but a transformation of the heart. The storm that once defined him dissolved into peace, and through that peace, Anakin became a beacon for those seeking their own way back to the light. 45. Restored as the Chosen One. In death, Anakin Skywalker fulfilled the destiny he had long misunderstood. As a luminous being, he no longer carried the weight of prophecy or the pressure of expectation. Instead, he embodied balance, the harmony he had once strayed from, but ultimately restored. His spirit stood beside Obi-Wan and Yoda, forming a trio of guardians who watched over the galaxy with serene unity. In this state, Anakin was not the broken knight of Mustafar, nor the masked terror of the Empire. He was the chosen one, as he was meant to be, compassionate, centered, and connected fully to the Force. And from that restored purpose, his gentle presence continued to shape the galaxy's future. 46. A father's silent watch. After Anakin's spirit returned to the light, he found himself drawn often to the presence of his children, not to intervene, simply to witness. From the quiet veil between realms, he watched Luke with the tender awe of a father seeing the man his son had become, steadfast, brave, and compassionate. He felt Leia's strength like a warm flame, her spirit echoing the fierce kindness of the mother he had loved so deeply. Anakin did not speak, for their paths belonged to them alone, but his presence lingered like a gentle hand resting on their shoulders. His silent watchfulness carried no sorrow, only pride. And through that calm devotion, he remained forever connected to the family he had once feared he had lost. 47. Moments on Endor. When Luke stood beside the crackling fire on Endor, saying farewell to the armor that had once imprisoned his father, Anakin's spirit watched quietly from the tree line. The celebration around them pulsed with joy. Drums, laughter, the golden glow of Ewok lanterns. Yet the moment between father and son was intimate and still. Later that night, when Anakin appeared alongside Yoda and Obi-Wan, the forest seemed to soften around them. Fireflies drifted like floating stars, and the trees whispered in the gentle breeze. Anakin's expression held gratitude, both for his redemption and for the son who had believed in him when he could not. And as their luminous figures faded, the night carried their peace into the canopy above. 48. The healing of old wounds. One of the quiet gifts of becoming a Force ghost is the chance to see one's life from a place of clarity, to understand mistakes without being chained to them. For Anakin, this clarity brought healing. He revisited the memories he once avoided, the Jedi he had betrayed, the friends he had lost, the choices that had darkened the galaxy. But now he saw them through the lens of compassion rather than shame. In the luminous realm, regret transformed into gentle understanding, allowing his spirit to reconcile with the past. This healing extended outward, touching those whose lives he had scarred, offering them a subtle sense of closure. And from that quiet reconciliation, Anakin's spirit grew even brighter. 49. The Guardian of Balance. As a luminous being, Anakin Skywalker embraced the role he had spent a lifetime chasing and resisting, the guardian of balance. No longer torn between light and shadow, he existed as harmony itself, a gentle presence watching over the shifting tides of destiny. In the realm beyond form, he could sense the subtle movements of the Force as easily as a breeze brushing across his skin. When darkness rose or hope dimmed, his spirit leaned softly toward the living, offering a quiet nudge, a whisper felt rather than heard. This guidance was never forceful. It was simply an echo of the balance he finally embodied. And in that serene purpose, Anakin fulfilled the promise of the Chosen One with peaceful certainty. 50. An echo beyond fire. The contrast between Anakin's life and his luminous form is striking. From the burning agony of Mustafar to the soft blue glow of his redeemed spirit. Where once flames consumed his flesh, now light flowed through him like water, cool and calm. The suffering that had once defined him became distant, like a dream fading with the dawn. His spirit held no trace of the pain that forged Darth Vader. Instead, it carried the gentle clarity of a soul finally at rest. Those who felt his presence sensed not the shadow of the past, but the warmth of forgiveness and renewal. And from that quiet transformation, the galaxy gained a reminder that even the darkest journeys can end in light. 51. Luke's final step. When Luke Skywalker felt his own time completing its circle on the cliffs of Ahch-To, he welcomed the transition with a serenity reminiscent of those who had guided him. As he gazed toward the twin suns, memories shimmered through him. Yoda's laughter, Obi-Wan's calm voice, Anakin's restored smile. Each breath felt lighter, as though the Force was gently lifting him from the weight of his long journey. When his body faded into the evening air, it was not an ending, but a release, like a star settling into its rightful place in the sky. Luke became one with the light he had followed all his life, and in that luminous moment, a new spirit awakened to join the Guardians beyond death. 52. A master of both eras. In his luminous form, Luke Skywalker carried the rare distinction of belonging fully to two different generations of Jedi. He was the last student of the Old Order and the first teacher of the New, a bridge between ages, traditions, and philosophies. As a Force ghost, this duality became even clearer. He felt the wisdom of the ancients resonate through him, while his own life experiences formed a gentle thread binding past to future. Free from the burdens of leadership and war, Luke could reflect with clarity on the lessons he had learned and the hope he had inspired. His spirit moved with quiet purpose, offering guidance to those who carried the torch forward. And from that timeless vantage, Luke watched the galaxy with calm understanding. 53. The Twin Suns Vision. When Luke chose to pass into the Force while gazing toward the twin suns of Ahch-To, it was more than a symbolic gesture. It was a return to the image that shaped his destiny. The suns reminded him of Tatooine's vast horizons, where as a young farm boy, he first dreamed of adventure, purpose, and belonging. That memory became the final lullaby of his mortal life, a peaceful echo of innocence before the weight of heroism settled upon him. As he faded into the Force, the light of the twin suns wrapped around him like an embrace from the past, reminding him that journeys begin and end in wonder. And in that glowing farewell, Luke drifted gently into luminous eternity. 54. A beacon for the next generation. After his passing, Luke's spirit watched over Rey and the emerging spark of a new Jedi path. Though he did not appear often, his presence was steady, a soft shimmer at the edge of her awareness, a calm voice rising when doubt clouded her heart. Luke understood that the new age needed flexibility, compassion, and openness, not rigid traditions. As a Force ghost, he guided not by instruction, but by encouragement, allowing Rey to find her own way. His hope for her was simple, that she would trust the Force as an ally, not as a burden. And from his serene watch, Luke quietly illuminated the road ahead for those who would carry the legacy onward. 55. The Wind on H. To after Luke passed into the Force, subtle changes swept across H2. The kind of shifts only the deeply attuned could sense. The wind that once howled sharply along the cliffs grew gentler, carrying with it a faint warmth that felt almost familiar. The ancient stone huts seemed to hum softly, as though touched by a presence that moved between their shadows like drifting starlight. Even the ocean waves, ever restless, occasionally calmed into a stillness that mirrored meditation. Travelers who would one day visit the island might pause without knowing why, feeling comfort settle over them like a hand resting lightly on the heart. And within those quiet breezes, Luke's spirit lingered, watching over the place where his final lesson began. 56. The Gentle Push. When Rey faced her darkest moment on Ahch-To, holding the broken shards of her own confidence, Luke appeared not with stern instruction, but with a gentle nudge, a reminder that the Force moves best through those who trust themselves. His spectral form glowed softly in the mist, casting no harsh shadows, only a calm encouragement that wrapped around her like a warm cloak. He didn't give her answers. He offered belief, the kind of belief that lifts a weary soul back onto its feet. Through his guidance, she remembered her strength, her resilience, and the quiet truth that she was never walking alone. And from that tender push, Rey found the courage to rise once more. 57. The Last Skywalker's Rest. In the luminous realm of the Force, Luke's spirit settled into its rightful place among the Guardians who had walked before him. Here, he found a peace that eluded him in life, a stillness untouched by conflict or expectation. He moved through the cosmic force with ease, sensing the harmony of distant stars, the birth of new worlds, and the gentle rhythms of living beings he would never meet. His presence became a beacon of stability, neither dominating the currents nor resisting them, but flowing with effortless grace. In this eternal rest, he finally released the burden of legacy and embraced the simplicity of being one with the light. And from that peaceful horizon, he continued watching the galaxy with quiet love. 58. A Voice in the Broken Saber. After Luke became one with the Force, Rey discovered that the shattered Skywalker lightsaber carried more than memories. It carried echoes. When she held the fractured hilt, especially in moments of doubt, she sometimes felt a warmth pulsing faintly within the crystal, as though someone were gently placing a hand over hers. It wasn't a full voice, not even a whisper, but a sensation of quiet presence, like Luke standing beside her with his familiar calm. Through the resonance of the Kyber crystal, his guidance lingered, shaped not by words, but by reassurance. The saber, once a symbol of burden, became a lantern of connection, and from its soft inner glow, Luke's spirit continued to reassure those who carried his legacy. 59. The Quiet Smile. In the luminous realm, Luke often reflected on his life, the triumphs, the failures, the people he loved, and found that each memory brought a gentle smile to his face. This wasn't a smile of pride, but of understanding. He saw his younger self staring at twin suns, his older self facing fear on Ahch-To and everything in between. Every moment felt connected by a single thread of hope stretching across decades. As a spirit, Luke no longer felt the weight of mistakes or the sting of regret. Instead, he felt gratitude for the journey that shaped him. His quiet smile was a whisper to the living that even the hardest paths can lead toward light. And through that serene reflection, his presence softened the galaxy's shadows. 60. A star among stars. When Luke's spirit looks out across the vast expanse of the cosmic force, he sees the galaxy not as conflict and chaos, but as a tapestry of glowing points. Every being, every life, shining like a star. His essence drifts among these lights, offering comfort where the force calls him. Sometimes his glow brightens near worlds where hope flickers. Sometimes it hovers quietly above places where new beginnings take root. He no longer walks the galaxy as a hero, but illuminates it as a gentle watcher, part of a constellation of luminous beings. And within that brilliant star field, Luke's light continues to guide those seeking their way through the night. 61. The nature of the afterlife. The afterlife, as understood by Jedi who have glimpsed its luminous depths, is not a place at all, but a state of perfect harmony. Imagine a realm where emotion becomes light, where memory becomes music, and where identity flows like a gentle current through an ocean of serenity. In this space, there is no loneliness, no fear, no separation. Every spirit is connected through threads of compassion that shimmer like drifting stardust. Beings in this realm feel both fully themselves and deeply part of everything around them. It is a balance beyond life, a peace that wraps softly around the soul. And in this gentle state, the luminous ones continue to watch over the living with quiet grace. 62. How the spirits commune force ghosts do not speak to one another in words. Instead, they commune through intention, a soft blending of thoughts, emotions, and understanding. A single shared feeling can convey more than entire conversations once did. When luminous beings gather, their energies harmonize, creating a peaceful resonance that feels like a choir made of starlight. Through this communion, they exchange wisdom, comfort, and glimpses of the galaxy's unfolding future. It is not communication as mortals know it, but a gentle mingling of souls, effortless and serene. Even across vast distances, their presence can touch like warm echoes on the wind. And in that shared harmony, their guidance for the living grows ever clearer. 63. The luminous web. The Force itself weaves a vast and interconnected tapestry, often described by the spirits as a luminous web. Every life, every choice, every spark of hope creates a shimmering strand that stretches across the galaxy. From their place within the cosmic force, luminous beings can sense these strands glowing around them, not as fixed paths, but as flowing possibilities. They see how kindness ripples outward like waves, how courage lights new constellations of destiny. This web is not a map of fate, but a living, breathing harmony, always shifting, always glowing. And from within this radiant network, the spirits gently guide the galaxy toward balance. 64. Bound by purpose force, ghosts do not appear randomly. Their presence is shaped by purpose as gentle and steady as a tide returning to shore. Even in their luminous state, they honor the flow of destiny, stepping into the mortal realm only when the force itself invites their guidance. A spirit may feel a quiet pull, a moment of danger, doubt, or awakening, and answer it with calm reassurance. They do not interfere with choice, for free will is the heart of all living paths. Instead, they arrive when their wisdom can help tip the balance toward harmony. Their appearances are rare, precious, and always intentional. And in those purposeful moments, their light reminds the living that they never walk alone. 65. The soft warning. When luminous beings sense approaching darkness, they offer warnings not through fear, but through calm intuition. These warnings rarely come as clear commands. Instead, they drift into the thoughts of the living like gentle ripples on still water. A Jedi may pause, feeling a sudden clarity, a hint of danger, a whisper of caution, without fully understanding its source. Such guidance is subtle by design, allowing the living to act with their own agency while gently steering them away from harm. The spirits understand that lessons learned through experience carry deeper meaning than those handed down like orders. And through each soft warning, the Force shepherds its children with patient care. 66. When spirits gather. Though rare, there are moments when multiple Force ghosts appear together, their lights blending into a serene constellation. These gatherings often occur during times of great transition, the fall of an empire, the rise of a new hope, or the turning of a soul toward destiny. When spirits unite, the air seems to glow with layered hues of blue, green, and gold, each representing the unique harmony of a different luminous being. Their combined presence feels like standing within a calm star field, surrounded by warmth and understanding. To the living, such moments bring profound reassurance, as though the galaxy itself is offering comfort. And in that tranquil unity, the spirits strengthen the balance they vowed to protect. 67. Silence of the Beyond. The realm where Force ghosts dwell is shaped not by sound, but by a profound and comforting silence. The kind that feels like resting beneath the branches of an ancient tree or floating weightlessly among stars. This silence is not empty. It is full of presence, a gentle hum woven from memories, compassion, and eternal clarity. In this quiet, luminous beings, find a peace unhindered by conflict or longing. Their thoughts drift like soft starlight, unhurried and serene. To them, silence is not the absence of life, but the essence of balance. It is the calm from which all guidance flows. And within that sacred stillness, the spirits gather strength to watch over the galaxy once more. 68. The energy of legacy. Every Jedi leaves behind more than a story. They leave behind an energy that continues to ripple through the Force long after their physical form is gone. These echoes of legacy glow like embers in the luminous realm, each carrying the warmth of lessons taught, sacrifices made, and kindness shared. Spirits often touch these echoes, reflecting on the lives they influenced and the paths they helped shape. For the living, these legacies appear as intuition, courage in dark moments, or a sudden understanding that feels older than oneself. This energy never fades. It simply changes form, becoming part of the galaxy's quiet wisdom. And through that glowing heritage, the spirits remain connected to every heart they once guided. 69. Dreams as doorways. Many visitations from Force ghosts occur not in waking moments, but in dreams. The space where the mind rests and the heart listens more easily. When the living fall into deep sleep, their consciousness drifts closer to the threshold of the cosmic force. In this softened state, luminous beings can appear with greater clarity, offering comfort, insight, or simply companionship. These dream encounters feel vivid yet soothing, like conversations held beneath a sky full of drifting lanterns. Upon waking, the dreamer may remember only a feeling, peace, courage, or a gentle reassurance. And in those quiet dream doorways, the living and the luminous world briefly touch. 70. Footprints in the Force. Even after a Jedi passes into the luminous realm, traces of their journey remain woven through the galaxy like soft footprints left on a sandy shore. These imprints are not physical, but emotional and spiritual, quiet echoes of courage, sacrifice, and compassion. Sensitive beings sometimes feel them without knowing why. A sudden sense of comfort in an old temple, a moment of clarity on a forgotten path, a warmth that lingers in places where great acts of kindness once occurred. These footprints shimmer through the Force like gentle waves, reminding the living that every choice creates ripples that endure long after the moment has passed. And through those subtle echoes, the departed continue to walk beside the living, step by gentle step. 71. The Prophecy Keepers. Among the luminous beings, some take on the quiet role of watching over ancient prophecies, not to enforce them, but to ensure they unfold with balance and compassion. These spirits observe the shifting patterns of the Force, as one might watch constellations shifting across the night sky. They see how choices weave together, how hope rises and falls, how small acts of kindness shape destinies far greater than themselves. Though they never command the living, they offer gentle nudges when the galaxy veers too sharply toward imbalance. Their work is subtle, as soft as wind moving through tall grass, but its impact echoes for generations. And in this patient guardianship, the luminous ones help guide the galaxy toward its rightful harmony. 72. Guardians of the Lost Temples. Across forgotten worlds lie ancient Jedi temples, worn by time and reclaimed by nature. Some are hidden beneath forests, others sleep beneath drifting dunes or crumble atop lonely mountains. Within these sacred ruins, the presence of luminous beings is often strongest. Spirits linger not out of duty, but out of love for the wisdom preserved within those stones. Travelers who stumble upon these places may feel a hush fall over them, a gentle awareness that they stand in the company of something greater than themselves. Sometimes, a faint glow flickers in the corner of the eye, or a warm calm settles in the chest. And in these quiet sanctuaries, the spirits keep vigil over the history of the Jedi. 73. The moment of return. When a Force ghost chooses to appear, the moment is chosen with great care, not by chance, but by a deep resonance within the cosmic force. Spirits sense when a heart is trembling, when a path is uncertain, or when destiny wavers like a candle in the wind. They arrive at the exact breath when their presence can bring comfort, clarity, or courage. Often, the living feel a warmth before they see anything, as though the world itself is gently exhaling. A shimmer follows, soft and patient, forming into the familiar glow of a luminous guide. The timing is always perfect, not because spirits control fate, but because they harmonize with it. And through these timely returns, they help the living walk their chosen paths with steadier steps. 74. Veils and thresholds. Certain places in the galaxy act as thresholds between realms, worlds where the veil between life and the luminous beyond grows thin. Dagobah's mist-heavy swamps, Ahch-To's ancient cliffs, Jedha's sacred sands, and even quiet corners of Tatooine at twilight all hold pockets where the Force hums more vividly. In these places, the boundary softens, allowing spirits to drift closer, like moonlight passing through an open window. Travelers often describe a tingling stillness, a sudden hush in the air, or a peaceful clarity that washes over them without explanation. These thresholds are neither dangerous nor haunted. They are sanctuaries where the Force breathes deeply, And within these sacred spaces, luminous beings step gently into view, bridging two worlds with warmth and light. 75. A presence felt, not seen. Force ghosts do not always manifest visually. More often, they linger as sensations. A comforting warmth, a quiet intuition, a sudden easing of fear. A Jedi meditating beneath swaying trees might feel a soft shift in the air, as though someone familiar has joined them. A pilot in battle may sense courage swelling within, guided by a spirit watching from just beyond sight. These unseen visitations are subtle but deeply meaningful, allowing spirits to support the living without startling them or bending destiny too sharply. Their presence feels like the memory of a loved one resting a hand on your back, steadying you. And in those unseen moments, the luminous ones remind the galaxy that love outlasts every boundary. 76. The calm before visions. Before a Force ghost appears, there is often a gentle stillness, a hush that seems to settle over the moment like a soft blanket of starlight. The air cools ever so slightly, as though the galaxy is pausing to listen. Colors may seem a bit softer, breaths a little slower, and thoughts fall into a quiet rhythm. This calm isn't magical in a dramatic sense. It's simply the natural harmonizing of the living force preparing to meet the cosmic. Jedi often describe it as the same feeling they experience before profound realizations, a moment where the heart feels open, unguarded, and ready. And in that quiet prelude, the luminous ones draw near, waiting for the right breath to reveal themselves. 77. The warmth of guidance. When a luminous being offers guidance, it feels less like instruction and more like warmth spreading gently through the chest. It's a reassurance that bypasses words and settles straight into the soul, reminding the living that they are capable, brave, and not alone. This warmth can rise in moments of fear, offering steady grounding, in times of sorrow, providing soft comfort, or in moments of uncertainty, illuminating a gentle direction. Sometimes, the living think it is simply their own intuition speaking. And in truth, that is exactly what the spirits intend. They guide by enhancing the light already within, never replacing it. And through that quiet warmth, the Force ghost becomes a companion to the heart. 78. Lessons of humility. One of the greatest teachings offered by luminous beings is humility, the understanding that wisdom does not require perfection, and growth does not demand flawless success. When spirits appear, they do not boast of their power or legacy. Instead, they gently remind the living that even the greatest Jedi struggled, stumbled, and learned through mistakes. Yoda's laughter, Obi-Wan's soft honesty, Luke's calm reassurance, all echo a single truth. Humility opens the door to clarity. A humble heart listens, adapts, and grows. Spirits encourage this quality not through reprimand, but through the example of their own serene acceptance. And in those soft lessons, the living find strength grounded in gentle truth. 79. The patience of eternity. For luminous beings, time stretches into something soft and gentle, no longer measured in hours or years, but in moments of purpose. With no urgency and no fear of endings, Force ghosts develop a patience deeper than the oldest oceans. They understand that growth unfolds at its own pace. A seed does not bloom by force, and neither does a soul. When watching over a struggling Jedi, they do not rush or push. Instead, they wait with serene confidence, trusting that clarity will come when the heart is ready. This patience is a gift, a reminder that life's lessons arrive exactly when they should. And within this endless calm, the spirits offer silent companionship as the living find their way. 80. A harmony of light. In the luminous realm, the presence of each spirit adds its own soft tone to a vast cosmic harmony. Yoda's energy feels like ancient wisdom carried on warm breezes. Obi-Wan's essence hums with steady compassion, elegant and clear. Anakin's presence glows with the peace of redemption, a tone once lost, now perfectly restored. Luke shines like a calm horizon, glowing with hope for the galaxy's future. Together, these luminous notes blend into a tranquil symphony, a melody of balance, connection, and serenity. This harmony supports the galaxy in ways unseen, helping to maintain equilibrium even during turbulent times. And from that peaceful chorus, the Force radiates comfort to all who listen. 81. The anchor of love. At the heart of every luminous transformation lies a single truth. Love is the strongest bridge between life and the beyond. Not romantic love alone, but the boundless compassion a Jedi feels for the people and worlds they protect. Love anchors a spirit, giving them reason to return when a guiding presence is needed. It is why Anakin could appear to his son, why Obi-Wan watched over Luke, why Yoda reached across galaxies to teach one final lesson. Love endures when all else falls away, shaping the glow of a Force ghost into something warm, gentle, and deeply familiar. And through that unbreakable bond, the luminous ones remain forever near those they cherish. 82. The power of selflessness. Among all the qualities that shape a Jedi's journey beyond death, selflessness stands at the center like a quiet star. To let go of ego, ambition, and fear is to clear a path for the Force to move freely through the Spirit. Luminous beings do not cling to existence. They remain because they wish to serve, not because they wish to stay. This purity of intention creates a resonance that allows their identity to endure without tension or struggle. Their presence is calm because their hearts are open. Their guidance is gentle because their purpose is clear. And through this selfless devotion, the spirits continue offering comfort to a galaxy still learning what it means to walk in balance. 83. Echoes of destiny. Luminous beings see destiny not as a rigid line, but as a constellation of possibilities glowing softly through time. They sense patterns emerging long before the living notice them. A meeting that sparks hope, a decision that restores balance, or a small act of kindness that changes the tide of entire eras. When the Force calls them, ghosts step forward to gently nudge these moments into clarity. They never force a path, for destiny belongs to those who live it. Instead, they offer perspective, illuminating crossroads that might otherwise remain hidden. Their presence feels like standing at the edge of a peaceful cliff, watching the galaxy arrange itself in shimmering harmony. And through these whispers of destiny, luminous beings help guide futures shaped by light. 84. The weight of memory. For the luminous ones, memory does not carry sorrow. Instead, it drifts like soft light through their consciousness. Each recollection a gentle shimmer that holds meaning without pain. They remember the faces of friends, the lessons of masters, the laughter shared, and the battles fought. But from the vantage of the cosmic Force, these memories feel whole, balanced, and resolved. There is no regret, only understanding. No bitterness, only clarity. Through memory, spirits remain connected to the lives they once lived and to the ones they continue to guide. And in that peaceful reflection, they gather the wisdom needed to support the living with compassion and grace. 85. Songs in the stars. In the luminous realm, spirits often describe the galaxy as singing. not with voices, but with subtle vibrations carried by the Force. Every star, every life form, every act of kindness creates a note in this vast celestial melody. To the living, these harmonies go unheard, but to the luminous ones, they are the gentle symphony of existence itself. When a Jedi performs a selfless act, the melody brightens. When peace is restored, it settles into a soothing rhythm. Some spirits drift near newborn stars, listening to their soft beginnings, while others linger where great sacrifices were made, honoring the echoes that still resonate. And through this endless song, the luminous beings feel the heartbeat of the galaxy. 86. A lantern in darkness. In moments when the galaxy feels cold or uncertain, luminous beings serve as subtle lanterns, not blazing beacons, but soft glows that lighten even the faintest trails of hope. A pilot lost in fear might feel courage settle over them. A child crying in the night may suddenly sense calm. These tiny moments of warmth are not accidents. They are gentle touches from spirits who understand the delicate balance between guidance and interference. Just enough light is offered to help the living take one more step, breathe one more breath, or trust one more moment. And in these small illuminations, the Force reminds all beings that darkness is never absolute. 87. The living are never alone. Perhaps the most comforting truth about the luminous realm is this: no one is ever truly alone. Even when the night feels heavy or the path seems lost, there are spirits nearby, watching, caring, guiding in ways the living may never fully understand. They remain not out of obligation, but out of love for the galaxy and all who dwell within it. This companionship is gentle, like the feeling of someone standing quietly beside you when you need it most. It does not intrude, does not overwhelm, but steadies the heart. And in that quiet presence, luminous beings offer a timeless promise that love, once shared, never truly leaves. 88. Peace beyond fear. For luminous beings, fear dissolves the moment they enter the cosmic force. What once troubled the mind becomes weightless, drifting away like mist warmed by morning light. In this radiant state, spirits understand that fear was never an enemy, only a shadow cast by uncertainty. They see clearly how every living soul carries worries, doubts, and questions, and they offer comfort because they remember what that felt like. When a Force ghost touches the thoughts of someone struggling, they share a sense of deep calm, inviting the living to release their burdens just for a moment. This peace is not forced. It flows naturally from the stillness of their essence. And from this tranquility, they remind the galaxy that courage begins with a quiet, centered heart. 89. Balance beyond life. In the luminous realm, balance is not a concept to be studied. It is the very air that surrounds the spirits. Light and dark exist not as enemies, but as complementary currents within a vast ocean of energy. Luminous beings no longer resist or deny the shadows. Instead, they understand how every emotion, every choice, and every journey contributes to harmony. Their presence radiates this understanding, helping the living recognize that balance is not perfection, but acceptance. When a Jedi feels torn between paths, a Force ghost may offer a subtle nudge, encouraging them to listen to their inner equilibrium. And through this serene guidance, the spirits help restore harmony not only to individuals, but to the galaxy itself. 90. The endless journey. For those who become one with the Force, death is not a final chapter. It is a doorway. Beyond it lies an endless journey, soft and luminous, where spirits continue to evolve, learn, and reflect. Freed from the limits of time and form, they drift through the cosmos like gentle currents of starlight, visiting worlds they once knew and discovering truths they never imagined in life. Their journey is peaceful, shaped not by quests or battles, but by curiosity and compassion. They watch over civilizations, guide lost souls, and celebrate the ever-changing tapestry of existence. And in this eternal wandering, luminous beings find joy in simply being part of the galaxy's quiet song. 91. The collective chorus. When many luminous beings gather, their presence forms a gentle chorus that resonates through the Force like soft music from a distant shore. Each spirit adds its own quiet note: Yoda's warm wisdom, Obi-Wan's steady compassion, Luke's hopeful calm, Anakin's redeemed serenity. Together, they create a harmony felt across the galaxy, especially in moments when unity is needed most. This chorus is not heard with ears, but sensed with the heart, a soothing reassurance that countless souls of light stand watch. Though invisible to most, their collective glow strengthens the balance of the Force, weaving peace into places touched by uncertainty. And through this shared melody, the galaxy remembers that it is held gently by those who came before. 92. The circle of light. Luminous beings often describe themselves as part of a circle, not a literal gathering, but a symbolic unity of spirits who guide the galaxy with quiet purpose. This circle expands with each new soul who transcends death, widening its glow and deepening its harmony. The spirits within it do not rank themselves by power or position. Instead, they see one another as equals, each contributing their unique light to the whole. The circle represents continuity, wisdom passed from generation to generation, and the understanding that no spirit stands alone in the afterlife. When the galaxy faces great change, the circle brightens, its energy flowing outward in gentle waves, and from this eternal ring of luminance, balance radiates across the stars. 93. A whisper to Rey. In her moment of greatest despair, when darkness threatened to swallow the fragile spark of hope within her, Rey heard a chorus of Jedi voices calling gently through the Force. Among them were the spirits of Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke, and countless others whose names had long been lost to history. Their words were not commands, but encouragement, a reminder that she carried their strength, their wisdom, and their love. Rey felt their presence swirl around her like warm starlight, lifting her from the edge of doubt. In that sacred moment, the past and present touched, offering her the courage to rise. And from that shared whisper, the legacy of the Jedi flowed forward into a new dawn. 94. Echoes of the Ancient Ones. Long before the Skywalkers, long before the High Republic or the first stone temples on Coruscant, there were Jedi whose names have drifted into myth, ancient masters who walked the earliest paths of the Force. Though their stories are forgotten by history, their spirits remain gently woven into the luminous realm. These ancient ones seldom appear, their presences soft as moonbeams touching water. But in rare moments, when the galaxy trembles with profound change, their echoes can be felt, a warmth in old ruins, a flicker of blue, light in abandoned halls, or a whisper rising from forgotten holocrons. Their wisdom is older than empires, older than wars, shaped by an age when the Force was understood with simple wonder. And through these faint echoes, the oldest guardians still guide the galaxy from afar. 95. The Guardians of the Skywalker Legacy. Among the luminous beings, A special harmony surrounds those who played roles in shaping the Skywalker destiny. Obi-Wan, Yoda, Anakin, and Luke form a quiet constellation of spirits, not bound by blood alone, but by the shared story of balance, love, and redemption. They watch over the legacy not out of duty, but out of affection for the family who changed the fate of the galaxy. Their guidance flows gently toward those who carry the Skywalker spark, whether by lineage, destiny, or chosen path. Rey, who inherited the lightsaber and the courage of those before her, often felt this protective circle around her, a warming presence of encouragement. And from this gathering of luminous guardians, the Skywalker legacy continues to shine. 96. The final illumination. Luminous beings, though freed from the limits of life, continue to seek understanding within the cosmic force. There is a quiet illumination they pursue, a clarity beyond even the wisdom they gained in mortal form. This final illumination is not a destination, but a deepening, like stepping further into a peaceful ocean of truth. In rare moments, spirits glimpse flashes of futures yet unwritten, of galaxies yet unborn, and of balance that stretches infinitely outward. They do not cling to these visions. They simply let them pass through like gentle waves. This illumination enriches their guidance, helping them offer perspective born from timeless reflection. And through this soft evolution, the luminous ones prepare for the mysteries still unfolding. 97. Shimmers in the night. When a Force ghost draws near, the world sometimes responds with subtle signs, delicate shimmers that play along the edges of perception. A traveler might notice the stars appear a little brighter, their light trembling softly as though stirred by a passing breeze. A quiet room may feel suddenly warmer, or a gentle radiance may brush the corner of one's vision without forming into a recognizable shape. These shimmers are not meant to reveal or startle. They are reassurances, small reminders that the veil between life and the luminous realm is never entirely closed. They are the galaxy's way of saying that presence is felt even when form remains unseen. And in these faint, glimmering moments, the living and the luminous briefly share the same breath. 98. The comfort of light. One of the greatest gifts luminous beings offer is comfort, not through words, but through the soft glow that surrounds them. When a spirit appears, its light wraps gently around the heart like a warm blanket on a cold night. Worries loosen, fear eases, and even sorrow feels lighter, as though shared with a compassionate companion. For those who experience it, this comfort feels familiar, like the memory of a loved one's embrace or the reassurance of a trusted voice. It is the Force reminding the living that they are cherished, supported, and understood. Spirits never impose their presence. They simply radiate peace, allowing the living to find solace in their own time. And through this tender glow, hope quietly rekindles in the darkest hours. 99. Beyond the veil of the Force. Even for the luminous ones, the deeper mysteries of the Force remain vast and wondrous. There are realms within the cosmic force where even spirits drift with humble curiosity, sensing truths too profound to fully comprehend. These mysteries are not frightening. They are gentle invitations to keep learning, exploring, and expanding. Luminous beings feel no urgency to understand everything. They know the Force reveals its secrets like petals unfolding, one delicate layer at a time. What lies beyond the veil is not an answer, but an endless horizon of peace and possibility. And as the spirits gaze into that soft infinity, they prepare to guide the galaxy with renewed wisdom. 100. The Eternal Watch. Across the endless tapestry of stars, the luminous beings keep a gentle, unbroken vigil, not as guardians of power, but as companions to every soul seeking its way. They drift like soft constellations, their presence felt in the quiet moments between thoughts, in the stillness before dawn, in the hush of a world catching its breath. Their watch is not burdened by duty. It is fueled by love, compassion, and the deep understanding that every life is part of a greater harmony. From beyond the veil, they guide with patience, comfort with warmth, and illuminate paths that might otherwise remain unseen. And as long as the Force flows through the galaxy, their gentle light will remain, forever watching, forever soothing, forever near. And now, as our quiet journey through the realm of the luminous beings comes to rest, may the peace of the Force settle softly over you, like starlight drifting across a calm night sky. These stories of spirits beyond death remind us that love endures, that wisdom echoes through time, and that even when paths feel uncertain, there are gentle lights watching over us, unseen but always near. If these reflections helped you drift into the stars tonight, feel free to like, subscribe, and share which corner of the galaxy you'd love to fall asleep to next. And when you're ready to keep dreaming, tap the end screen to journey into another quiet tale beneath the hum of hyperspace and the lullaby of distant worlds. Rest well, traveler. Your dreams are part of the Force now, and the Force will guide you